Hello, students, teachers, parents, history nerds. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Nutshelled History, where we lay out the facts, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We continue with our Modern World History series by looking at Europeans gain a foothold in Asia. Don't forget that there's a link for a fill-in-the-blank worksheet in the description. I just ask that you like and subscribe. I apologize for any mispronunciations ahead of time. I do my best. After Vasco da Gama's voyage to India, the Portuguese burst into the Indian Ocean. Muslim rulers had established the Mughal Empire throughout much of India. The Portuguese gained footholds in southern India, however, by promising local princes aid against other European rulers. In 1510, the Portuguese seized the island of Goa. Then they took Malacca. The Portuguese built a trading empire with military and merchant outposts. For most of the 1500s, they controlled the spice trade between Europe and Asia. The Dutch challenged Portuguese domination of Asian trade. Dutch warships and trading vessels made the Netherlands a leader in global commerce. The Dutch set up colonies and trading posts around the world. In 1602, wealthy Dutch merchants formed the Dutch East India Company, which had full sovereign powers. With its power to wage war, negotiate treaties, and govern colonies, the Dutch East India Company dominated Southeast Asia. Meanwhile, Spain took over the Philippines, which became a key link in Spain's colonial empire. When Europeans sought more trading rights in India, the once powerful Mughal emperors saw no threat in granting them. The Portuguese and later the Dutch, British, and French were permitted to build forts and warehouses in coastal towns. Over time, the Mughal Empire weakened and French and British traders fought for power. Like the Dutch, both the British and the French established East India Companies. Each company organized its own army of sepoys, or Indian troops. By the late 1700s, however, the British East India Company controlled most of India. Portuguese traders reached China in 1514 seeking Chinese silks and porcelains. The Chinese considered European goods inferior and therefore demanded payment in gold or silver. The Ming rulers eventually allowed the Portuguese and other Europeans a trading post at Macau. With the traders came Portuguese missionaries. The brilliant Jesuit priest Matteo Ricci made a strong impression on the Chinese, who welcomed learning about Renaissance Europe. In 1644, the Manchus, who ruled Manchuria, succeeded in seizing Beijing. They set up a new dynasty called the Qing. The Chinese economy expanded. The Qing maintained the Ming policy of restricting foreign traders, however. In 1793, Lord Macartney led a British diplomatic mission to China, but his attempt to negotiate for expanded trade failed. Like China, Korea also restricted contacts with the outside world. In the 1590s, a Japanese invasion devastated Korea. Then in 1636, the Manchus conquered Korea. In response, the Koreans chose isolation, excluding all foreigners except the Chinese and a few Japanese. The Japanese at first welcomed Westerners. Japanese warrior lords quickly adopted Western firearms. Jesuit priests converted many Japanese to Christianity. The Tokugawa shoguns, however, worried that Japanese Christians owed their allegiance to the foreign pope and that foreigners would try to dominate Japan. In response, the shoguns expelled foreigners and barred all European merchants. To keep informed about world events, however, they permitted just 1 or 2 Dutch ships each year to trade at a small island in Nagasaki Harbor. Okay, it's recap time. After Mr. da Gama made it to India, the Portuguese were not going to be nice about it. They began seizing territories such as Goa and Malacca. This allowed them to dominate the spice trade for a bit. The Dutch wanted in on some action, and the Dutch East India Company dominated Southeast Asia. As the Mughal Empire weakened, more and more Euro nations wanted to take advantage and control of India. The British East India Company soon dominated. China was reluctant to trade because they thought European goods were trash. They only wanted gold and silver. They did open up Macau, though. The Manchus took control of China and started the Qing dynasty, still closed off. Korea and Japan were similar and resisted European presence as well, for the most part. There you have it, folks. That is Europeans gain a foothold in Asia nutshelled. Thanks for stopping by Nutshelled History. Hold your foot down on those like and subscribe buttons, and don't forget to say hi in the comments down below.